Okay, welcome everybody. I understand that you've now received your new TSCRIPT template. You've downloaded it into a safe templates location, and you're able to retrieve it using the templates menu when you go to start a new file in Word. So it's showing up here for you. Once you click on it, you're going to open up a document that looks like this. Don't be alarmed, you're going to see a lot of content controlled or content reminder fields just there to make life easier and quicker for you. As soon as you type or make a selection on them, the yellow highlighting that brings attention to them will disappear. So don't worry about the yellow. The yellow indicates a few different things. It will either have a drop-down menu, a text reminder, or a date selector. For instance, text reminders are going to tell you what you need to type in them. They're going to have a square bracket on either side and a little description inside. Here, if you're expected to put in the action number, then that's precisely what you'll do. I'll just pretend to type one in. I'll highlight the words, and I'll just type in a number. You can see that the yellow disappears, and I'm left with actual copy. Click on the e-file info. Let's pretend I'm typing in an e-file number, and it goes away. Don't even have to highlight it. Just click in the yellow section. We'll pretend that we're typing an appeal number, and there you go. The other types, as mentioned, are drop-down menus. For instance, here, it's telling me to choose a court name. The court names are already typed and formatted. I just choose the one that applies to my particular transcript and move on in the document. There are also some places where you're asked to pick a date. Here's an example on the title page. You're going to see a calendar when you click here. You click on the little arrow to make it show up. You pick the date that you're looking for, and it types it in for you. You're going to go through each of the pages and take care of anything that you see in bright yellow. If by any chance the options in a drop-down do not meet your particular needs, you do have the ability to type over them. So we're going here, and we can type additional text if we ever need to. There are also occasional spots, most noticeably on the title page, where the drop-down is going to give you a large block of text. Here, we're going to choose the TMS location. You get a preview of them. All you really need to take notice of, though, is the title. You're looking for Calgary, Edmonton, or the regional location in Red Deer. Click it, and it fills in the entire block of information for you. That's the title page. If we go to the next page, you're going to see a table of contents and exhibits. Here, too, we have a lot going on that you can't actually see. The table of contents is automated, and when you get to the end of your transcript, you're going to come back here, click in the table of contents, and choose to update the table. There's no sense doing it now because it's going to come back with something like this. It tells me that there's no entries found, but by the time you're finished, there will be a lot of information ready to load. The exhibits list pulls in a similar fashion, and it will pull everything that you mark as an exhibit. I'll go through how to do that as well. On the third page, we get started with the transcripts. You'll notice the line numbering, which is now set to 41 lines per page, and the preamble is set up for you ready to roll. You'll take care of all the yellow spots, as mentioned. You can either add or delete any extra lines if there are more or fewer people involved, and then you can get started. Let me just take a look at another thing. Another part of what's going to make this easy for you is that blocks of text like this one, the preamble, which includes everything that you see on the first page, from proceedings right to that next line, as well as the introduction of new witnesses. Those two recurring sets of information have been set up for you in something called quick parts. To insert a quick part, you go to the Insert menu, over to the Text section, click Quick Parts, and you can either insert a preamble or a witness introduction anywhere in the document. To do so, you would set your cursor where you want it to show up. You can go to Insert, Quick Parts, say I want another preamble, click, it's all set up to go. Or say I want to introduce a new witness. Here's the witness block, click, and there you go. Those are the quick parts. If anybody has suggestions for additional quick parts, we can add them, or you can add them yourself if you feel confident in doing so. You would find the section that you find repeating in several locations, highlight an example of it, for instance like this, go to your quick parts, and you can just simply say, Save Selection to Quick Parts Gallery. Whatever you've saved will now show up in this list. Okay, so we'll carry on. Now, another time saver are the styles. Style menus located on the Home tab in this area here. The styles include the normal TSCRIPT typing, the table of contents or TOC. We've got new witness. We've removed sessions, so this one will not appear in your files. You've got question, an additional paragraph to the question, answer, an additional paragraph to the answer, and exhibit. Now, don't worry if you're not remembering all of these. It's all documented on page 6 of the how-to guide that I've sent along with the file, and you can always refer back to that. Or in a pinch, if you want to learn about these, you can right-click on them. And although you don't want to make any changes necessarily, you can click Modify to get information on what you're looking for. So you can find out this is some formatting details about what each section is like. Now, the different styles are also linked in different ways to those tables that we saw at the beginning, the table of contents and the exhibits. If you're typing and say I'm just going to use funny letters for the sake of speed, an exhibit, I've done the exhibit description, and I want to make sure it gets added to the exhibit list at the beginning of the document. I'll simply highlight my exhibit and click Exhibit with the exhibit format. Then when we go to collect the information at the beginning, it will be there. Same thing if I've typed some information, for instance, a new speaker or any other type of detail that needs to be part of the table of contents. Let's simply highlight the information that needs to be in the table of contents, click TOC, and now that will be collected to the table of contents when I'm finished my document. I can always go back to normal at any time when I need to in order to return to standard formatting. The question and answer options are going to save you a bit of time in the formatting because it sets the tabs up where you need them and also places the Q&A back to back with the Q&A preceding the information. You type, you click enter, it takes you to the answer, and back and forth it goes just by clicking enter between the two. Now, as you know, some people do like to speak for more than one paragraph. So on occasion, you might be in a question, and rather than going straight into another answer, you're going to delete the A, click question additional paragraph. It allows you to keep typing, and then goes back to the A for answer when it's done. The spacing is all set up the way that they want it to be, where there's a space between question and answer, a space after an answer before the next question, but the question and answers that are connected to one another have no space between them. So this is already set up for you. There are quick keys set up so that if going up and clicking your style choices is not your preferred method of working, you can also use Alt and a letter to set them off. It's all documented in the how-to guide, but for instance, the normal is Alt-N, table of contents is Alt-T, question is Alt-Q, answer is Alt-A, exhibits is Alt-E. We went with Alt rather than Control because Word has so many built-in quick keys already that use Control, so Alt is what we use as the method. There is a way where you can change your quick keys, and I've documented that as well on page 6 of the user guide, just in case these Alt operations are not what you're personally comfortable with. You can switch them over quite easily. Now, as you're going along and you've finished with the transcripts, you'll get to the end where you see there are 2 more preset sections. The first is the certificate of record with some information that you need to fill out, highlighted in yellow. And the next is the certificate of transcript. Bear with me, this part has been moved. This is not the final copy. The final copy that you receive won't have the lines that I just erased. Now, if you by accident were to delete these sections, they too are listed in the quick parts at the bottom. So you go into your quick parts and scroll down to the bottom options. You'll see that you can reinsert either of the certificates if by chance you happen to delete the end of your file by accident. When you're done with your transcript, you simply go up to the table of contents, click somewhere in the table of contents area, update table, update entire table, click OK. It's going to collect information from the typing that we've just done. Here it's clicking information that's in yellow because I hadn't filled it out yet, but you can see what happens. And same thing with the exhibits. If I had set something as an exhibit, it would be in there, but I haven't set anything as an exhibit, so it's just giving me a warning. All finished. I save my file as I normally would. File, save as, give it a new name, save it in a file location, and upload it in the way that the TSCRIPT office advises you to do so. That's pretty much all there is to it. I've gone into a lot more detail on paper, but just wanted to give you a quick introduction so you could get started right away here with the video. Questions, suggestions are always welcome, but I hope this transcript template saves you a lot of time and energy. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.